First of all, Antonio, thank you for sitting down with us. We appreciate it. In your gym here in, where are we? Fort Lauderdale, Florida? Can you just describe what it's been like for you to be out of the NFL for 138 days since your last and only game with the Patriots, September 15th last year?
Well, it's been a little emotional. You know, anytime you don't get a chance to play a game that have narrowed my focus, allowed me to tune out a lot of distractions and be able to achieve my goals as far as being a good player. So having the game taken away from me that many days, been a little frustrated emotionally, but I think I just miss playing.
What impact has just being away from the NFL had on you personally or just even your life outside of football?
I just think you get so involved with football, so emotionally attached. So not being able to play, you know, had me a little bit agitated, a little bit aggressive.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean that it has you agitated a little bit?
I think when you deal with different frustrations in the world, you know, you could go out on the football field and get away from it. You know, with practice, with games, in those 60 minutes, you know, you kind of just narrow out your focus to be the best in that moment, and nothing really matters outside of it. So when you're so used to that with playing so long and not being able to play, you know, it's kind of having to have a positive transition.
And how do you feel like those agitations have played out?
It's kind of not played out so good for me, you know, with my emotional reactions on a lot of circumstances and situations that I probably could have handled better.
And we'll get into that. What ways do you potentially, you know, or what ways do you feel misunderstood, if at all?
I feel like people, we all react emotionally sometimes when things happen, but people don't really know what led up to an emotional reaction, you know, what I've been through or, you know, what I'm facing to know why an emotional reaction entails, you know. So I think people just see some things one-sided and don't know like the full well-rounded of where I came from or what I've been through to be at that stage of emotion.
And I've heard you allude to that sometimes in your IG posts or when you go live, when you talk about people don't understand some of the things that you've been through. What do you mean by that, though?
I mean, I think at a later point, you know, hopefully I can share those things.
So is that something that you don't want to go into now? Are you talking about, you know, things that you've gone through, whether it's in your childhood or what have you? I mean, would like for you to elaborate, but is that what you mean?
Absolutely. You know, I kind of give people a well-rounded story of my story, you know, what I've been through and what made me react and what got me in the position where I'm in right now.
Does any of that have to do with your relationship or lack thereof with your parents?
I just think it comes from decisions that I've made to put myself in this point.
Interesting. In what ways do you feel like Antonio Brown is different from the AB persona?
Well, you know, AB is just, you know, a football player. Antonio Brown is who I am.
And do you feel like the AB persona has gotten any larger than you would like?
Absolutely. You know, and that's what got me in this position. I don't think the talent or my efforts on the field is the question. Is the narrative that's being creative about me and some of the things that's being said about me, some of the emotional things I have done, you know, that play into that as well. So I think people have been able to see like half of the story.
So let's get into that a little bit. You have several accusations from various women involving incidents of sexual misconduct that range all the way up to rape. Did any of that happen?
No, we can't really speak on it from that term, but no, you know, that's not who I am or what I stand for.
So does that count as a outright all denial, you know, towards any of the allegations that you would like to, you know, put forth, you know, right here in this setting to everything that's been said against you?
Yes.
Okay. And just so I can be clear, okay, for the people out there, okay, Brittany Taylor has accused you of rape. To that you say?
No.
She also has accused you of expressing yourself on her, just to be specific? That's ejaculating on her. Did you do that?
We really don't get into stuff that the court and the procedures, but, you know, we let the court handle that stuff.
Okay, so why do you feel like some of those accusations, including an unnamed artist that was, you know, reported in the SI article, who also said that, you know, some sexual misconduct happened, why do you think that those accusations are out there?
Because I'm a target, you know, based on the position I'm in, people could say anything they want and it become public perception. So when the public knows that, you know, I become a target and anyone could say anything, even if it's justified or unjust, you know, I'm the guy who feel the pressure from it. You know, even if it's not true, I still not been able to provide justice to be able to work based on someone else's allegation.
So was there anything that you did with your behaviors that could have been misinterpreted, or that you put yourself in terms of a situation that, you know, would cause them to make those accusations against you?
It's just, you know, usually when people want stuff out of me, you know, this is the road they take. You know, they could try to shame me publicly to see if I give them a certain type of wage. You know, we all done been through it. It's just, you know, I wasn't willing to give them that wage, you know.
So what do you mean? Do you feel like any of these women, are you alluding to the fact that you feel like any of these women were trying to extort you?
I'm not here to like give you a support
No,
case.
I don't know, you know, I don't know,
Nah.
yeah.
This not here to sell you on a support case, you know.
Yeah.
This just to
I understand.
kind of give you a briefing.
Is there anything that you feel like you could have done different to not have been in the situation that you were in with some of these women?
But like, you know, I'm not in a situation with any woman. You know, I got kids from a lot of mothers and good women. You know, just this assumption over my life that when you become successful, people can say, you know.
Mm-hmm. So why do you feel like you're out of the NFL?
I mean, that's not my focus, you know, right now. My focus is get back to NFL, so we're not trying to like worry about, you know, being out of the NFL.
And I just want to also give you an opportunity to discuss if you feel like there are any accountabilities that you have or anything that, you know, you could have changed or done differently to not been in this position.
I think I could really express my emotion the right way when I get frustrated. So being able to express myself in a positive way when things are not so positive. So being able to really channel emotion, because we all have emotion. You probably did something when you was emotionally mad or made a decision that you probably shouldn't have. And I think that was the case of me over the last season. You know, from knowing different experiences, different things I noticed when playing. You know, had me emotionally react and made it rub, you know, a lot of people the wrong way, and allow me the opportunity to, you know, get embraced by anyone in the NFL.
So you met with the NFL 2 months after you were released from the Patriots. What was important for you in that meeting to get across then, Antonio?
That we're not hiding from anything. You know, we here to follow the procedure, whatever protocol, to get back on track to play. And that was their procedures, and that's what I followed.
What did you discuss? Anything that you want to share that you discussed in that meeting that you felt like was important?
I just let them drill me on whatever they have for questions from either parties. And, you know.
And why do you feel like it took so long for the NFL to meet with you?
I guess it's the NFL procedures. When stuff out of your hands, you just gotta wait on the process of how they conduct things.
Has that been frustrating for you?
Of course, you know, everyone's given a deadline or some kind of validation, or, you know, we never got any type of.
Yeah, because I mean, one thing it does seem like, for when you're comparing this to other cases, it does seem like some of those cases have been decided upon a lot quicker, and this has extended into, we're now days away from the Super Bowl, and you still have no answer.
Yep.
So, you know, how have you dealt with that?
You know, it's all about just, you know, keeping faith with the unknown, you know, just having a positive expectation, having hope, just keep hopeful and just,
So in the last few weeks, you've shared a lot of your life on social media, like you've been doing for a while now, good and bad. Why do you do that?
So I feel like people don't really understand, the day-to life things that you go through or what it's like to be me. So sometimes I try to get the fans an in-tune perspective of, what it's kind of like, Everywhere I go, someone puts you on camera, so it's just constant in your face, the camera's always rolling.
Do you ever feel like you do it too much?
It's never enough.
You ever feel like it's impacted you negatively?
I just think, people, there's a lot of envious and jealousy, it's a incurable trait, it's really reciprocated, it's never donated, so I know it could breed envy of, some of the stuff that portrayed or put out there, but it's only for motivation used to really inspire people to work harder.
And some of it hasn't always been like that, because there was a post that you did that was live, right, involving one of the mothers of your kids. Your kids were in there, the police were involved. So when you do something like that, what do you feel like is the perception, that carries out there, especially when it comes across so disturbing to a lot of people, Antonio?
Well, I think, just it don't look good, especially with your kids there and they're reacting emotionally. And sad that it had to be online, where the whole world to see it, but that's just something, I explain to the kids and my family, just about handling my emotion the right way. Sometimes things could go on in the wrong way, and it don't mean it's okay to react in the wrong way. So it's all about having a positive expectation and not letting my emotions get the best of me when I'm reacting negatively.
So when you say it's sad for something like that to have to happen, Antonio, but people out here hearing you say that are saying, well, it was within your control, right, to post that live. So it's not something that you had to do. So when you say it's sad that that had to happen, is that really placing the blame somewhere else for that going out live?
No, it wasn't no blame. I take full responsibility, but like I said, everyone's in the world human. We all react on different emotion. Sad that I had to portray it to the world is showing my reaction of bad emotion, and it's something I feel heartfelt about acting that way, especially in front of my kids. So,
Yeah, because I've seen you at many workouts, whether it's in California, what have you, that I've watched you, and you always have your kids around you, whether it's in training camp or what have you. So how do you feel, Antonio, that has impacted your kids?
I mean, kids see arguments every day. It's sad that I was with the police and they had to see it. But, it's not the best thing, the example we want to set or the best thing we want to show them. But some of the things kids see, they learn from. And they learn that dad is not perfect, Sometimes I react the wrong way and emotionally. I'm a human being, I have the right to sometimes. Sometimes not always right. So, and I got to understand that as well. So it's a part of just growing up.
And what did your kids say anything to you about that, or do they ever say anything about you post on social media?
Nah, my kids young, they don't really see all the stuff for the grown folks or everyone else sees. They just loving kids. They don't know what's going on in that moment. They just, and at a point of a misunderstanding. They only see love, so they don't see hate or jealousy or negativity. So.
In the past few weeks, you were arrested for burglary and battery and an incident involving a moving truck driver. You also were placed on house arrest. Due to that, would you say that your life is out of control in any way?
I mean, I'm in control of my life, maybe for someone outside looking in.
So why does that happen? Because, for someone listening to this interview, they might feel like, but why are all of these incidents happening with Antonio? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I know you said you're a target, but there's a whole bunch of people who are a target, who make a lot of money. Who, I mean, athletes, people of status.
Who?
I'm not going to name their names, but people.
Name them, you got an example?
But people who are in the same realm as you. So I'm just saying, given that, how do you explain to those people that this incident with the moving truck, or with one of your mom's kids that happens to you?
I mean, we all go through adversity. We don't make no excuses. What you want me to say? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Some things happen. The good will outweigh the bad. You go through adversity. Triumphs and adversity is just to build character. I guess how I learned about my character through this adversity.
How do you think these incidents are going to impact your status with the NFL?
I mean, Roger Goodell came out last week, said they're going to provide me some help and some support. So we'll see if the status, I don't think my status with the NFL from a physical standpoint has ever been a question. Mm-hmm. It's just the emotional part. But what do you do with a guy who's been playing ball since 6? I'm from Liberty City. I grew up in adverse areas. Not only me playing football changed my life and made my life better, but I still come from these adverse areas. So when I have a chance to go out and express myself and play the game that I like to play, to take me away from some of the adverse things that I had to grow up and go through, that's what people got to understand. Mm-hmm. Just because I go change my life and reach a certain level of talent, that don't mean I don't come from a place, you know what I mean, or how I act or how I represent in my culture,
So when Roger Goodell said Wednesday that they do care about your well-being and, that they want to make sure that you are provided with help, first of all, what I want to understand is, has the NFL provided you any help in this interim while you have been out of the NFL?
No, when you're out the NFL, you're not their property. They don't really help you. So I was pleased to hear that after 140 days, that there was some positivity about me, because as in late, I just been the cancer of the NFL, the problem child, the guy who gets in trouble, and the kind of guy who have the bad narrative about him.
So when Roger Goodell says in his press conference that they care about your well-being, do you believe the commissioner of the NFL?
I believe it when we see it.
But to clarify, you haven't gotten any of that yet in terms of any help?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you need help?
Help as in what?
Well, some people, when they talk about you, not to say that it's true, but we're going to just talk about what we hear, right? Yeah. So some people, when they talk about you, they say, Antonio Brown needs mental help, or he shows signs of needing mental help.
Yeah.
Do you need mental help?
We all need mental help, from our friends, from the people we hang around, from the people we consult with every day. Yeah, we need mental help. I'm like an animal in a cage. Like, everyone just talk about me. I can't go out my house in the private. Everything I do is in the face of people. Is the face of someone talking, someone making an assumption about me.
Right, but you say everything I do is in the public sphere, right? Maybe you feel like a fish in a fishbowl, but how much of that are you contributing to, right? In terms of what you share, because you share so much of yourself. Not everything has to be shared. So how much of that are you contributing to?
I don't know. I'm just sharing to inspire. I'm not sharing to contribute to nothing negative. I share to inspire the kids who look up to me. I'm like a hero to some of these kids in these areas. Mm-hmm. So I share them so they could get the encouragement or enlightenment to be able to, to want to be in a position to strive for something better.
Some of the things that people also feel or speculate on is whether that hit from Vontaze Burfict in the playoffs from the 2015 season that went into the playoffs. Some people speculate that Vontaze Burfict's hit has adversely impacted your behavior after that. Is that true?
Nah, it didn't hit me that hard. I got up and walked out the field. We won the game. Like, I was all right. You play the game long enough, everyone get hit hard. It's a part of the game. It's not like, I started being different after the hit. Like, everyone get hit, you get hit, it's a part of the game. Obviously, I'm not a linebacker where I'm banging my head every time. I haven't been hit that much. Anybody will be aggressive if they use football to express their life, the instant results of working hard, instant gratification of getting a return on your work, so I would say, not being able to play football had me a lot more free time to really focus on, when I play football, I'm focused on the goal, so I'm not really hearing or worrying about what nobody said. It really don't matter, because I know I'm focused on something. So I'm not playing football and I'm hearing people talk like, you know, we can't really take no disrespect. Like, you ain't really gotta like us, but like, you really gotta respect me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people.
So you don't feel like you've noticed any more aggressiveness or emotional
Nah.
outbursts
I just think
since
I got
that hit
time.
at all?
I just think I got, when you got time on your hands, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And you don't really have a goal or something that keep you driven, focused fully. You know, now you got time to react to what this person say.
So you attribute it to having more time on your hands,
Exactly.
specifically also since then, that hit?
Exactly.
Okay. So why do you feel like in one of her posts on Instagram, one of the mothers of your kids said that she hopes that you get the help that you need? What did she mean by that?
I mean, she's emotional, you know, women are emotional, they love me, you know, she can say whatever, but at the end of the day, like, you know, it's emotional, she's got a lot to deal with, you know, like online, people saying this, that, it's a lot, you know, so of course she gonna say stuff that's emotional, but like.
So you don't agree
Agree
with what, you know, she was saying that in terms of she hopes that you get the help that you need or that it's necessary?
Yeah, I think she's just saying that because she's like emotional. She don't mean that, she's just emotional, like just an emotional reaction.
Kobe's death was a huge thing that has impacted everybody around the world. First of all, just tell me, how did Kobe's death impact you?
I think it impacted me a lot, you know, just knowing one of my heroes, icons, guys to look up to, you know, had passed away, how he passed with his daughter, you know, it was really like a tragedy. So to just even fathom that is just, you know, a discomfort. So, you know, just, you know, when you see things like that, it just, you know, want to inspire me to, you know, want to, you know, play and be that, you know, role model for kids who like look to people to be in those roles like that.
So after Kobe's death, you posted a picture with you and Tom Brady on your Instagram saying you want to play in the NFL more than ever now.
Yeah.
What made you write that caption?
Just the whole Mamba mentality, you know, just thinking of Kobe Bryant and the athlete he was, the adversity he faced, you know, tearing his Achilles, you know, having people say he raped him and some of the adversities that he had to go through and persevere from. You know, I could relate, you know, when you an athlete at a certain level, when you achieve certain success, then adversity kind of bring you down. So, you know, just a lot of emotions that go into, you know, someone passing and their tragedy, you know, how it affect you. But
So I noticed in your caption you said that you want to play in the NFL more than ever now.
yeah.
So does that mean that there are times when you have contemplated not playing in the NFL ever again since you have been out of the NFL?
Of course.
Explain that.
I mean, at some point the game ends. You know, you can't, if I was immortal, I could probably play forever and always be healthy and maybe have a better public perception. But it don't work like that, you know, so when you're not able to play for 140 days, you got to try to transition to other things. And, you know, as a player, when you're used to playing and, you know, your ego, like, yo, you could do it, and so much stuff kick in. But at the end of the day, you know, the game won't come to an end, and you got to find other things that, like 84/7, like here, and me creating music to do other things that, you know, that help me feel like I got a goal and to keep me driven, because we all need something that hold us accountable and keep us focused.
And it's not just that too, but what I guess I'm specifically getting at is any point that you've been out of the NFL, have you considered just abruptly retiring?
I feel like I don't want to retire. You know, I got a lot left in me that I could put out, but you know, there's always some thoughts about it.
And what can you share about your relationship with Tom Brady, including, you know, during your time here, Super Bowl week in Miami, Florida?
I really can't share nothing, you know.
Yeah. You're gonna keep that to yourself?
There's ain't really nothing to share.
Okay. Do you still have an ongoing relationship with Tom?
I'm just keeping my finger crossed, you know, hopefully I could play with him next year.
So you would like to play with Tom Brady next season?
If possible.
Have you all talked about it?
Not really.
Not really?
Not really.
A little bit? Come on, Antonio.
I don't know where he's going, so we'll see like when he figure it out.
So regardless of not knowing where Tom Brady is going, once he goes somewhere, because he has indicated he wants to continue to play, have you and Tom Brady talked about potentially playing on the same team?
If the possibility presents itself.
Is that a yes?
We not the owners or the general managers.
Would you like to?
I would like to.
There you go.
Yeah, I like to.
Okay. I also wanted to ask you, with some time to reflect now, what do you think about your departure from the Steelers, a team that you were with for 9 seasons?
I feel like, I could have left on a better note or could have handled it better. But I just feel like at the time, that's where I was at mentally.
And how would you characterize your relationship with Mike Tomlin right now? Or how do you regard him?
Man, it's a coach relationship, players and coaches,
Is it complicated?
No, Mike Tomlin was a good guy to me. He's a good coach, a great leader, someone I could depend on off the field for anything I need, personal. I think he cares about my well-being. But, I'm not a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers, so I don't need his coaching anymore.
Okay. How would you describe your time with the Raiders?
I think it was a little misunderstanding, but I think it was fun.
And what led to your conflict with Mike Mayock and you eventually calling him out of his name?
I never really called him out his name for, to clear the record. I know there's a lot of reports, but, he'll tell you, he'll clear the air, but I just think he's a new general manager. He never seen a guy like me. So there's a little discomfort there or what have you. He got a lot of notes from Kevin Colbert so.
Okay. Well, just to clear it up on this end, multiple people say that they heard that conflict with you in terms of it also arising to that point. And to that you say still.
People gonna always say he say, she say, like Mike Mayock, like the conversation or what it was. I think, it just was in the right place at the right time for me to be there.
Mm-hmm. And do you feel like you owe anybody in the NFL an apology?
I think I owe the whole NFL apology and my past behavior. I think I could have done a lot of things better.
And do you feel like you owe any of the women that you've ever got into a conflict with an apology?
I feel like I never really got any conflict with no woman. I just feel like I'm a target. So anybody could come against me and say anything, and I'm going to have to face it. There's no support, it's no ecos, it's no rules in it. Like anyone could come after me for anything, no proof or whatever he say, she say, and the media run with it. So even if I'm not guilty, I'm already guilty because they already wrote it, put it on the TV, and put that in people's minds. So just by me having to sit here and hear those the allegations of me, it's just unfair to me, every time.
Mm-hmm. And why did you issue an apology on your Instagram to the local police?
I mean, I was disrespectful to the police on national media, and a lot of kids look up to me. So the wrong thing I want to do is provoke, police brutality against the police force who supposed to protect the community. So I wanted to clarify my actions to let them know, I have no point intent of disrespecting or putting the wrong thing out about police officers. I respect the law enforcement, so I wanted to be clear with my actions to not only the Hollywood police, but the kids at the POW and the 707 League that I gave them money to let them know that, we want to eventually be able to work with the police.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you're addicted to fame?
I'm addicted to fame? No, I'm not addicted to fame. Like addicted, like you mean what?
Do you crave the spotlight?
No.
Do you seek the spotlight?
Why would I seek a spotlight?
Not sure. Just a question.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What led you into the music part of your career right now? What led you to want to start rapping? When we came into your gym,
Yeah.
you're playing tracks from your singles that you've been putting out on iTunes. What got you into all of that?
Well, just a form of art of expression, being really misunderstood, and then having to hear people's perception of me, having to answer questions of, a lot of false accusations that I have to sit up here and answer because the perception of the reality people have created by the success that I'm in. When I didn't have no money or when I wasn't in this position, there wasn't no one coming after me or saying, hey, I want money or I'm gonna say this. So ever since I got in this position, it's like, oh, I'm this bad guy now, but before I was just a 6th-round guy who worked himself in his position to be the best player. Then I became the best, and it's like, oh, now I'm this bad person who just tell people bad stuff. I don't care about no one but myself. So I guess that's when you start getting successful as a guy, and people put that on you. So it's like, it's always a barrier, it's always a barrier. I work hard to get myself here, then I become here. Then it's, hey, this bad guy now I'm getting all this trouble, you know what I mean? So now it's just a whirlwind all created by public perception.
Are you fully committed to being a rapper?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Maybe.
Okay. Are you enjoying yourself making videos and all these things that we see out there?
Yeah, I'm enjoying expressing myself, hopefully I could let people understand, put them in an emotion of a thought of, what I go through or what it feels like.
And then lastly, in what ways do you feel like you've evolved as a person? In what ways would you also like to continue to implement some changes?
I feel like I evolved, having time off from football, working on handling emotion, when you get negative vibes, you could get a negative emotion. So I try to make sure not only I'm practicing my mental health, I'm talking to like my friends on my level who could encourage my mental health. I try to have the right people around me that could encourage my well-being, of not worrying about what people say, staying focused on my goal and just, seeing the vision no matter the distraction. And
are you seeing a therapist right now?
Yeah, I see a lot of therapists, but it ain't really for no one record,
It's not for what?
No one record or for no negativity, it's just to talk, to consult with people that don't have an agenda. When I'm in such a good position, when I'm talking to people that have agendas, because they want stuff from me, they want money, they want to use likeness, they want to use my image, they want to put me on their phone. So when you're talking to people that got agendas, it's not good mental health because they give you the feedback for what's good for them or what may not be good for you. So, learning how to deal with my emotions and talking to people that encourage my mental health. When you're talking to people from Liberty City, they got a different mentality because they're in the survival mode. So that could have you reacting on that same instant when it's like, I'm different now, I already made it from those areas.
And just real quick, just because you mentioned your mental health, do you have any concerns of having CTE at all?
I just got a whole lot of money, that's it.
I'm gonna let you end on that. Unless you want to clear that up anymore.
That's the single,
So you don't feel like you have CTE, you're not concerned about it?
Nah, if I had CTE, I wouldn't be able to have this beautiful gym. I wouldn't be able to be creative. I wouldn't be able to, communicate and
Well, you might have the early, there's early stages, AB, just to be clear.
I ain't Aaron Hernandez. I'm perfectly fine,
Okay.
I ain't take that many big hits. I had one big hit in 10 years. Anybody who play this game, they gonna get hit hard. That's a part of the game. Why people think I got CTE? I'm a really handsome guy. I'm healthy.
Wow, it has nothing to
for
do
real.
with how your physical
But I'm saying,
attractiveness level.
I know, but CTE is you know what I mean? I feel like I don't have CTE. I'm perfectly fine.
And then obviously this is a serious, condition.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
just,
of course.
wanted to ask about that. Did I ask you is there anything that you want to say that I did not ask you?
How's business?
How's business?
Booming.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app, and for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.